All right, grab your favorite mug. It's time for Coffee with Your Retirement Coach. Welcome back to Coffee with Your Retirement Coach. I'm Aaron, and joining me behind the clipboard, we've got Randy.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey, Randy. Nick.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Listen, I'm just excited. We have definitely pulled generously from this topic, inspired by Marietta. And we really, being serious, we came up with one more topic that's super important. When people are looking at how they give, should they go to the bank account or should they entertain the idea of using those appreciated assets?
Nice. Yeah. This is a great topic, but I want to divide it into two different categories.
Yeah.
Number one, I want to delve into what it looks like to give appreciated assets to charities and the causes you care about. And then separately, let's address what it looks like to give appreciated assets to family members. Maybe it's the children, the grandkids,
I like that.
or the neighbor in need. And so, Randy, I'll pivot to you. Which one do you want to play today? Which area do you want to take?
Are you trying to get me to give assets to you?
He was really hoping you'd pick family.
You've already told me you like the grandkids way more than me, so I know you're not talking about me.
So I'll talk about the charitable version.
Yeah. So why don't you lead us off? So, obviously there are the folks that write the checks on Sunday, which I'm not belittling at all, or they give cash to those organizations. But then there's another way to do this. Take us there.
So, well, first of all, I would say, like, if I looked at my own giving, and I am a believer in being generous, I think being generous helps us be more confident in what we're doing. And it says, I trust God. I trust myself to make smart decisions. So there's a psychology to that. But in terms of the mechanics of it, so if I looked at how I do things, and we always talk about eating our own cooking, like this is how we do it. So if I am in the marketplace, and it's the Girl Scouts or Salvation Army or something that I'm doing at the point of contact gift. I'm doing cash or check.
Coming out of the grocery store.
Yeah, exactly. Some of those things, I'm just doing a check or cash or something like that. Yeah. But my more substantial giving, what I do is I try to go and look at the appreciated investments that I have. And instead of giving my cash, I give those appreciated assets, because when I give those appreciated assets, ABC investment, when I give that with a large gain in it, I get the deduction for the value today.
Yeah.
I don't have to pay capital gains. The organization receiving it doesn't have to pay income tax or capital gains on it. It's a more efficient way of giving.
Yeah, and I see that play out a lot at churches today. I know we've helped a lot of churches set up brokerage accounts where, their, congregation can give, stock or ETFs or mutual funds that are appreciated, even real estate, not in the brokerage account, but they could do that. And the great thing is these organizations like these local churches, they can sell it, pay no taxes.
Right.
I mean, it really is a win-win.
Yeah. It allows people to be more generous or more intentionally in their generosity.
Yep.
Well, there's another way to think about giving appreciated assets too. Many times, here's a perfect example of, giving an asset instead of cash. Recently had a client who's had a grandchild getting married in Europe, okay? And beautiful venue, etc. And they wanted to bless this grandchild, and they were getting ready to write a pretty sizable check. It was about $25,000 or $30,000 they were about to write. And I said, time out. Now, this client is in a upper mid tax bracket. Yeah. And I said, let's look at this for a second. You've got this great appreciated asset over here that you can't sell, you can't do anything with because you have such low cost basis. How about this? What tax bracket is your granddaughter in?
So good.
0. She's just starting life. She's just started her first job, so she's going to pay no capital gains if she has an asset. So instead of giving the $25,000 to $30,000 of cash, what he did is he gave the ABC stock that had tons of appreciation, and it's a gift. Now, we had to be aware of gift tax rules, so we actually split it into 2 tax years, okay? Because, like, as of this year, in 2025, when we were recording this, was it $19,000, Aaron?
$19,000.
So you can give $19,000 with no gift tax issues. So he gave some this year, this is a year ago, so some last year, some this year, avoided gift taxes, and granddaughter's going to pay zero capital gains on that asset, and he keeps the cash.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know how to do bracket management, and we won't go into the details today, but there are people who think they have to pay capital gains if they sell an appreciated asset who actually do not. And there's
Right.
a lot of people who don't have to do that. Another way, I guess they could have done that if it was a married person, the husband and wife could have done the gifting and avoided any concern about that as well.
Yeah, great point. And this was a widower, but yes, great point. Great
So
point.
be really careful about a couple of things, I think. Nick, that is such a great strategy, but you really have to understand, is there anything else that would impact? And in most cases, like your story today, there isn't anything else. But do be aware of giving to people who maybe have special circumstances and maybe have disabilities and things like that when you're doing your giving.
100%. Especially if you're on government, you have somebody you love and you care about. And here's another example, Randy. Right down the street from one of my clients is somebody who is now immobile. They are a widow. They depend on people in the community for everything from groceries to like real life, like getting to the doctor's office, etc. And so this client, who is one of their neighbors, wanted to say, you know what, I have been really, really blessed. I want to give a lot of my assets to this person, and I love the spirit of generosity. Yes. But here's the challenge. This particular lady with the special needs, she is receiving benefits. And if she received those types of assets, her benefits potentially stop. Yeah. And so we do have to be mindful. I think that's a great point that you're bringing up. We do want to seek some wise counsel, and we don't want to cause a hurt to those people that we're trying to help.
And just one other little element, because this comes up quite a bit, and that's if if this person is still in school, still trying to qualify for, some
federal aid,
and that we just so be smart, get counsel,
good
maybe
conversations.
Talk to your financial advisor, who hopefully is knowledgeable about this, or the CPA. But, generosity is all about Marietta. Right?
Yeah. Well, and the reason that in Marietta we get excited about talking to these things is we find that generosity spurs generosity. Yeah. And that's why we like spreading this message. Like Nick, you had mentioned, there's churches that we've had them set up accounts so that they can receive securities. We recently did a review with one of those pastors, and there was a congregant that gave toward a certain initiative. And what was funny was they were like, well, if I was going to take it, I was going to have to pay the taxes. Really, that should go towards this too. And I just want to wipe that position out anyway. So they gave so much more than if they'd have given from the bank, and they felt great about it, had a massive impact. And again, it would have just been taxed. And so the generous nature that we find, if people do this kind of planning, they're living happier lives. They're being more generous. They're seeing more things happen with those assets, those dollars. They're not being lazy. It's fantastic. So thanks for sharing this. Thanks for hitting up both sides of the fence. So again, if you are wanting to bless an organization that you care about, if you're wanting to bless a family member or a friend or a neighbor that might be in a rough spot or about to celebrate a great event, those assets, those appreciated securities, that can be something. And sometimes real estate, we mentioned that. Those can be a great opportunity for gifting in a way that would be more difficult to realize from a tax perspective than from the person or the organization you're given to. Talk to your financial planner, talk to your CPA, seek wise counsel. And as always, thanks for being generous with your time. We hope you stay coachable. We hope you enjoyed today's show, but you may have questions for our coaches, and they can be emailed at connect@yourretirementcoach.com. If you know someone that needs to hear this episode, we encourage you to share it. As a reminder, the content of this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be construed as advice. On behalf of our coaches, we want to thank you for listening and for being coachable.
Yeoman's Consulting Group, a registered investment advisor YouTube channel based in Marietta, Georgia. We strive to provide comprehensive wealth management services for every stage of the journey. This platform is solely for informational purposes and is not offering advisory services or sales of securities. Investing involves risk and possible loss of principal capital. Comments by viewers or recognitions are no guarantee of future investment outcomes and do not ensure that a viewer will experience a higher level of performance or results. Public comments posted on this site are not selected, amended, deleted, or sorted in any way. If applicable, certain editing of personal, identifiable information and misinformation may be deleted. The opinions expressed herein are as of the date of publication and are subject to revision due to changes in the market or economic conditions and may not necessarily come to pass.